Tonight, we're learning new details in the death of legendary actor Jean Hackman. Newly released body camera video showing New Mexico sheriff's deputies arriving on the scene and discovering the bodies of the Oscar winner and his wife, and what they heard from witnesses and caretakers at the...
The deaths of actor Jean Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa seemed normal when first discovered. But when you look closer, their case becomes one of the most puzzling mysteries in recent years. They weren't just found dead. They were in different rooms of their home, with one dog dead in a closet, while two others survived. As investigators dug deeper, the strange details only multiplied, creating a case that still raises questions today. Hit that like button and help us to grow the channel. What you're about to hear contains twists and unexplained circumstances that will make you question everything about this seemingly simple case of an elderly couple's passing. A maintenance worker discovered the bodies on February 26, 2025. He arrived at their Santa Fe home for a routine check when he noticed something unusual. The front door stood completely open. After knocking several times with no response, he cautiously entered the house. What he found inside shocked him. Jean Hackman's body lay in the home's entrance area, while Betsy was found in the bathroom. Both showed signs they had been dead for several days. The scene grew even stranger. One of their dogs was discovered dead, locked inside a closet near Betsy's body. The other two dogs were alive, though hungry and dehydrated, wandering freely in different areas of the house. This odd arrangement of bodies, human and animal, immediately signaled to police that this was no ordinary case. Investigators noticed prescription medications scattered across the bathroom floor near Betsy. This suggested she might have been frantically searching for medicine during an emergency. When the medical team checked Jean's pacemaker data, they made a startling discovery that changed everything about the investigation. The device showed his heart had stopped beating on February 17th, 9 full days before their bodies were found. This created a perplexing timeline. If Jean died on the 17th, when exactly did Betsy die? And perhaps more importantly, why didn't she call anyone for help during those 9 days? The worker's 911 call added another puzzling element to the mystery. Initially, he told the dispatcher he had found one dead person in the home. Then, moments later in the same call, he corrected himself and said there were two bodies. Was this simple confusion caused by the shock of his discovery, or was there something more meaningful behind this seemingly minor detail? Investigators listened to the recording multiple times, trying to understand the worker's state of mind. Jean Hackman wasn't just any Hollywood actor. He was considered legendary in the film industry. He had won multiple Academy Awards for his unforgettable roles in classic films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, before walking away from fame to enjoy a quiet retirement. He had chosen to spend his final years with Betsy, a talented classical pianist 30 years his junior. Despite the age,
officials now say cell phone data has revealed that Jean Hackman's wife, Betsy Arakawa, called a medical concierge service sometime before she died.
Their relationship had lasted more than 40 years, an impressive achievement for any couple, but especially remarkable in Hollywood circles. What made this case particularly strange was how the couple had completely vanished from contact for almost 2 weeks before their bodies were discovered. Friends and family reported no communication, no calls, no texts, no emails during this period. While Jean and Betsy were known to value their privacy in their secluded mountain home, this extended silence struck those who knew them as highly unusual. Nobody had any idea something was wrong until it was far too late to help. The positioning of the bodies provided investigators with important clues. Jean was found near the front entrance, suggesting he may have collapsed suddenly, perhaps from a heart attack or stroke. Betsy was discovered in the bathroom surrounded by medications, painting a picture of someone desperately trying to find medicine during a crisis. But the dead dog in the closet near Betsy created a confusing element. Why would it be trapped there? And how did it die, while the other dogs managed to survive by roaming freely through the house? Medical experts examining the evidence proposed that Jean likely suffered a severe cardiac event on February 17th, causing him to fall in the entrance area. Hearing the commotion, Betsy probably rushed to help him, finding him unresponsive. She may have then hurried to the bathroom to retrieve his heart medications. The theory suggests she experienced her own medical emergency there, possibly triggered by the extreme stress of finding her husband collapsed and unresponsive after more than 4 decades together. This explanation makes sense on the surface, but leaves crucial questions unanswered. Why didn't Betsy use their working landline or her charged cell phone to call for emergency help?
There was no indication of a struggle. There was no indication of anything that was missing from the home or disturbed. That would be indication that there was a crime that had occurred.
How did one dog end up trapped and dead in a closet while the others remained alive? And what exactly happened in that house during the 9 days between Jean's death and when they were finally discovered? These questions continue to trouble investigators. Another compelling theory emerged as the investigation continued. Perhaps Jean fell and injured himself on February 17th, not dying immediately. Betsy, being much smaller and unable to lift him, might have struggled for days to care for him in their remote location. Eventually, she could have become exhausted or developed medical problems herself before finally succumbing. This would explain the time difference between his death and the condition of her body. It might also explain how one dog became accidentally trapped in a closet during the chaos of the extended emergency. Yet even this theory has major flaws. Most investigators find it nearly impossible to believe that Betsy wouldn't have called for help during such a prolonged crisis. Even though their home was somewhat isolated, they weren't completely cut off from civilization. They had neighbors within driving distance, and emergency services were available in the area. Something about the sequence of events refuses to align with normal explanations. The investigation uncovered more details about the couple's final days that only deepened the mystery. Records showed Betsy made her last phone call on February 11th, almost a week before Jean's pacemaker indicated his death. Her internet search history showed she had been looking up information about breathing difficulties and respiratory symptoms. Jean's pacemaker data confirmed his heart stopped on February 17th. But what happened during those critical days between her last communication and his death? And what happened afterward? These gaps in the timeline remain filled with speculation rather than concrete evidence. Some investigators quietly wondered if an intruder might have been involved, but this theory quickly fell apart under scrutiny. There were no signs of forced entry, nothing appeared to be stolen, and no evidence of any struggle was found in the home. Yet the isolated location, the strange fate of just one dog, the confusing 911 call, and the unexplained time gap between their deaths continue to make this case unusually baffling for experienced investigators. What's also strange is how one specific dog died while 2 others survived. The deceased dog, found in a closet near Betsy, appeared to have died from dehydration, suggesting it had been trapped for days without water. But why was just this one dog trapped? Did it hide there during a frightening event? Or could it have been accidentally shut in during the confusion of a medical emergency? The surviving dogs were dehydrated but alive, apparently able to drink from toilet bowls and move freely through the house. This seemingly small detail continues to perplex everyone involved in the case. The relationship between Jean and Betsy adds another layer to this mystery. Friends described them as deeply devoted to each other despite their 30-year age difference. Jean was 95 when he died, while Betsy was 65. In his later years, Jean reportedly suffered from heart problems requiring a pacemaker. Could Betsy's dedication to caring for him have contributed to these tragic circumstances? Maybe she simply couldn't bring herself to leave him, even to seek help during a medical crisis. For now, the case remains officially classified as undetermined. Not clearly an accident, but not suspicious enough to be labeled as potential homicide. This unusual classification itself speaks to the genuinely perplexing nature of the deaths. What investigators can say with reasonable certainty is that 2 people who shared decades of life together likely spent their final moments in distress, separated by circumstance, but connected by their long history together. Did Jean die suddenly and Betsy struggle alone before succumbing herself? Or did something even more unusual occur in that secluded Santa Fe home? The loss of these 2 remarkable individuals leaves behind not just grieving friends and family, but also a mystery that continues to challenge conventional explanations. As investigators continue working to piece together their final days, many questions about what truly happened remain unanswered. If you found this mystery as fascinating as we did, don't forget to smash that like button right now. Share this video with friends who appreciate a good unsolved case. Join our growing community by subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell so you never miss our newest investigations. Drop your theories in the comments below. We read them all, and sometimes viewers spot details even investigators miss. Until our next case, stay curious, keep questioning, and remember that truth is often stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.